Welcome back to this episode of the Deep Plea. My name is Karthik. The guy on the other side of the mic is Sven, and today we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah.
Let's get into our quote for today. Let an ultra-intelligent machine be defined as a machine that can far surpass all the intellectual activities of any man, however clever. Since the design of machines is one of these intellectual activities, an ultra-intelligent machine could design even better machines. There would then unquestionably be an intelligence explosion, and the intelligence of man would be left far behind. Thus, the first ultra intelligent machine is the last invention that man need ever make, provided that the machine is docile enough to tell us how to keep it under control. Irving Good from 1965. Sven, take it away.
Yeah, so this is kind of pointing to the singularity, they call it, logical singularity. Um, the main point is that AI would be able to replicate itself over and over and just continue making copies, and they'll just expand all the information and do everything. So now, when it comes to how he says keep it under control, the capacity for the AI to know how to instruct, keep itself under control is interesting because if it knew that, it would keep itself under control, it wouldn't have to have us do it. So it's interesting that they almost put like a human quality in, you know what I mean? Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
just
yeah, go ahead.
I just like even the like I guess maybe as a human, we want the machine to be, I guess, docile enough to tell us how to keep it under control, meaning that if we can't put it in some type of like cage, then
Yeah,
we'll never understand it and we'll think that it's always has our worst interest at heart. Um,
right.
and if the cost of computation just falls to zero, as it seems to be doing, AI can just perform millions and billions of dot products through neural network computations, and yeah, we might just be left in the dust. And like, I want to just take a quick thought experiment. So like,
Okay.
if this ultra intelligent machine was like created,
Yeah.
could you imagine like maybe in an instant the world would just start changing and like just everything would shift so fast. Like
Yeah.
let's just say it was like an infinite scale. Like it got created and then the next second like your house turned into like a mansion just because it just like it exploded so fast that it you had infinite food, you had this, you had that just so quickly. I think is just an interesting thing to think about if we really think of something that is ultra intelligent and really the last
Yeah.
invention that would ever be needed, then in theory it would provide infiniteness, which maybe is a flaw of the ultra intelligent machine, because if it provides infiniteness, then we know our world is finite, and therefore that
Yeah.
might be impossible.
I mean, if you assume any rate of improvement at all, then it's exponential. I mean, if you look at the past 60 years of technology boom, you know, AI is going to be like a catalyst for what we're going to do, but now it's going to be like times two. Things are going to move faster. Things are going to really pop. I think that's exactly where we see it now. Even brain technology, like if you have an AI scan like brains and 3D models of brains, you can actually kind of get like a mimicked human being. And if you just imagine you take like 10 brains or 100 brains of all the world, everyone's brain, then it could just have this like global conscious hive mind where kind of like, I'm just talking about the most extreme thing, but you'll kind of have an entity at the end of it. It'll just be an entity.
That is
That's kind of,
ultra
yeah.
intelligent, perhaps,
Right.
but all right,
Or
let's get
mimics
it.
intelligence. Yeah.
Maybe it is intelligent or
Or mimics intelligence.
mimics intelligence. Well, perhaps that's a complicated thing to get into with consciousness of a robot and everything. Um,
Yeah.
but let's ask the, I guess, the easy question for today. Could there ever be a AI kill switch similar to a internet kill switch, which has been done by many countries across the world, such as, um, man, I think it's India, I think Iraq, I believe Russia at one point. There'll be a link to it in the description below. But I guess the question we're trying to ask is, would such a switch ever be used to stop AI if it became a conqueror? So if it took over the human race, or would it simply just conquer us too quickly? So I think that
Mhm.
like we have this like internet kill switch, which has been done for uh, various countries to, I guess, for maybe security reasons or what other reasons it might be. And um, like to distribute that type of kill switch on a worldwide level seems that like the internet has gotten too powerful, and I don't know if that could be a thing. And I think that like now with AI getting powerful, I mean we're seeing uh Sven, I don't know if you've kept up, but like I in the news they're saying, oh, we want to halt AI progress. We want to um kind of like see what we've done and like just stop for a second and take it all in. But like
Yeah, I
if
mean,
the
yeah.
US stops, right? Who's
Mhm.
to say that other countries won't stop going or won't
That's what I was about to
keep
say.
going, right? So
Yeah,
it's just like, you know, if
I
we
mean,
just keep having this AI kind of conquest, then maybe it one day will become a conqueror, such that the internet conquers the world now because everybody uses it and everybody needs it. So would there even be like a kill switch for like AI technology?
yeah, I mean, I'm kind of
Yeah,
viewing it like I feel like, of course, the military. I mean, no matter what the media says, I'm sure the military is always going to be working on AI, like even in any country. Um, I feel like it might be like a commodity in the future, or it might be more so like how we have cars and phones, and you kind of need these things to live in society because there's distance and you can't talk to everyone close to the phone. AI might become a kind of like a second nature thing like that. It might just be integrated into society, and it might become a thing that if you do have that kill switch, it actually could cause like some sort of collapse in society or some like grandiose issue if everyone is using. Like I could imagine like a chat GPT type thing, but like let's just say it's integrated into our brains and we can retrieve information quickly. And let's just say everybody has that and that stops, they shut it down or something like that. We're gonna kind of have this effect where we're gonna be like almost like we've eaten our favorite food before, but we can never get it again. And we're gonna be like, what how do we live without this?
yeah,
You know
that's
what I
very
mean?
interesting. Yeah, and if the internet were to if there in theory was an internet kill switch across the world, which has faced a lot of controversy, I believe, for obvious reasons, but
Yeah.
if that were to happen, then like yeah, the world that you would know, that you have known, that we've known since our birth, would just disappear, and then everything would collapse. So like, will AI get to that point? And maybe when it does get to that point where everybody uses it every day for all activities, then has it become a conqueror? And conqueror meaning that like, is it on its way to like taking over humans?
Or
Um,
like almost
being a what, sorry?
being essential.
Ah, yeah, yeah. And maybe it might just conquer humans so quickly that if it's ultra intelligent and it figures out that there's a binary formula, it's either one, humans are useful, or zero, humans are not. And if it says zero, then perhaps we'll be wiped out so quickly that it's at infinite speed, such that the next second, instead of having a mansion as our home, uh, we don't have one because we're dead. Um, all right. The hard question for today, Sven. Given that AIs employ large language models, or given that AIs that employ large language models are not deterministic, meaning that uh, given the same question, they can respond in different ways, how can we program it to shape deterministic goals? So, um, and then also, how can we know if the goals for our civilization are correct? So, uh, when we're talking about shaping deterministic goals, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, maybe they want to use an AI to figure out how to end world hunger, or how to be smarter, or how to be more productive. And how can we, like, I mean, I know they're using human human-based like reinforcement learning or human feedback, um, to kind of try and act a little bit more like maybe a deterministic human.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you have to say
Yeah, I mean,
about
like
this?
you said, how can we know if the goals for civilization are correct? There's this idea that it's like when let's say we wanted to build a memorial for our veterans, and we want to build it on the ground on like some grass, and so we think it's the right thing to do. It's all out of love. It's out of respect and stuff. However, when we do build that, we are demolishing ants, bugs, and insects and whatever on the ground, and we kind of just see that as like a byproduct, kind of just like what's going to happen when we do it, but we don't really consider it in the same way that AI might think, okay, I need to do this thing, we need to build this thing or whatever, but it could just drop it on a bunch of people. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't
Interesting.
consider,
Oh,
they
that
wouldn't really
yeah,
consider it. It would just be like, this is what we need to do.
Hmm.
Like you never know how, like, I don't know if how they're basing the AI, but you never know if that something like that could happen.
Yeah, that is actually crazy. Just like the thought that if this AI has, I mean, we give it filters, like we give the AI filters to not have hate speech or not have this, but what happens if it roams free? Does it just decide, like, does it
Yeah.
decide random things? Does it figure out like chess moves that we didn't even think were possible, right? In
Right. Or
given
it's like,
situations?
yeah, like let's build this cancer institution right here, and it just plops it right on top of like a bunch of houses, like just for extreme example.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, oh, well, we're gonna be saving lives in the future. Like
Right.
it's, um,
Like that's the goal, so they just do it.
yeah, at least it's easy to see like the machine as like a utilitarian entity where it's like trying to get the most, I guess, utils uh,
Hmm.
that they can, and maybe they think that those future satisfactory points would be best gained by just dropping some, yeah, dropping some facility maybe just onto people and like they just get
Yeah.
smushed. I don't know.
I mean, hey, it's like we have a picnic. We go sit down. We lay the blanket. And we just sit on a bunch of insects. It's
Yeah,
like the same.
yeah. So maybe the yeah, the AI will view us as ants.
Right.
That's
Who
funny.
knows?
Any last remarks for today's fun?
I just want to say, if we assume any rate of improvement with AI, it's guaranteed. As long as technology continues, I think that it's going to become a part of civilization, as simple as the phone or the car. And I think it's going to be necessary to compete and to even function in the future. That's just my.
Yeah, I wonder if like maybe in the future with new AI technologies, maybe our kids will have all these technologies and they'll be like, Dad, how do you not understand how this simple AI thing works? Like how we tell our parents how do you not understand how this simple phone works. I think that
Right.
could be
Right.
an interesting thing to linger about on the future.
Yep.
Well,
Dude.
I think that concludes this episode. It's a
Yep.
short
Thank
one,
you.